Welcome everyone to our webinar today about NetSuite. And really today's webinar is the webinar where we prepare both you and ourselves for what has become one of the most exciting technical conferences basically in the whole industry. This will be our 6th time at NetSuite Suite World, and it is an amazing event. This year, of course, they're going to do it in Vegas again. So what happened in Vegas last year, we won't talk about, but this year, of course, we're going to make memories together, and we're looking forward to it. So I want to thank everyone who has joined us today. My name is Andrew Lee. I'm Vice President of Alliances and Channels at Jitterbit. Joining me, I've got Paul Lathrop, who is our Partner Enablement Specialist, basically knows all things NetSuite and technical within the Jitterbit platform. And let's go ahead and kick right into today's agenda. We really want to focus in on where is the cloud headed. If we think about 2 years ago, NetSuite had been acquired by Oracle. Oracle has been making a massive play into the cloud. And a lot of people are asking, where is this all going? Is this essentially the new next generation digital platform and cloud is an essential element? And how does that work with everything else that lives within the IT portfolio? And how ultimately can I keep up? Most important for you today and for the show is what are the benefits here for NetSuite customers, and how does this Jitterbit iPaaS or integration platform as a service platform really enhance the processes and the business functions that I'm automating on the NetSuite platform? And then as always with Jitterbit, we will do a live technical demo of the Jitterbit Harmony platform. Specific today, I think Paul's got some really cool stuff where he is tying, of course, connecting to the NetSuite API and the NetSuite applications, also connecting out to third-party applications. And I think we've even got some artificial intelligence endpoints and algorithms that are actually being tied right into the live demo. Our goal is to be about 30 to 40 minutes today, and as always, we will open up for a live question and answer period. We really do encourage you to ask questions. To ask a question, simply go out to the GoToWebinar control panel, go into the QA section, and simply write out your question. If you don't want your question to be read out publicly, again, you don't have to leave your name. I'll leave your name off the question when we call them out. Feel free to say, have one of your technical specialists call us one-on-one. If you have a very specific question around a project where you're trying to connect NetSuite to any kind of application or data within your company, also say, I have a project and I have a specific architectural question, and we'll make sure to have a one-on-one session with you. So with that, let's go ahead and dive right into the NetSuite world. Jitterbit, as I said, has been spending well over 6 years in the NetSuite ecosystem, and it truly has been exciting to watch NetSuite as the original cloud platform company, over 20 years ago in its inception, really grow as the rocket ship that it has become today. We have well over 200 NetSuite customers and integrations that we've built out. Very, very deep domain expertise on the platform. Of course, any of you technical folks who have worked with the NetSuite API know that it has some very specific technical capabilities that we have worked with for many, many years in order to optimize and in many cases enhance. Our goal is ultimately to deliver a very simple yet enterprise class solution to the NetSuite customers. We recognize the fact that the majority of the NetSuite customers are small, mid-sized, and very aggressive and fast-moving enterprise companies that want to be able to get not just the NetSuite implementation up and going very quickly, but they need the integrations to be able to be up and running. And in many cases in NetSuite, it's not even a matter of a few months, but it's a matter of a few days. And we've tried to really optimize our solutions to do exactly that. You can see that over 75% of all of our NetSuite customers are live in less than 30 days or less. And in the NetSuite ecosystem, there are a lot of people who promise that kind of time frame. Our challenge to every integration vendor, and we hope it's your challenge as well, is give me a scoping. Tell me not only that you can technically connect these solutions, but tell me exactly how long that integration will take, and tell me how long it'll take on the calendar. We're always happy to deliver that directly to you. 60% of our customers are able to self-implement, and it's important to note that over a third of all of our business is global, both in EMEA and in Asia Pac. So we support not just the needs of the North American customers, but the needs of global customers overall. Now, what's going on out in the industry, and it's really exciting to see what Oracle itself is doing, and there are so many of these giant platforms, whether that's Oracle or Google or Amazon or SAP. There are so many of these different services that are available that now connect into the NetSuite ecosystem. There's so many of these new technologies that essentially have to be connected in order to make them relevant within your IT portfolio. So as we talk about things like machine learning and artificial intelligence, the IoT, at some point in time, we'll hear more about enterprise blockchain. It's important to realize that all of these technologies will shift our futures, but they will shift our futures only if we can figure out how to properly connect and integrate them into our existing IT portfolios. And that's exactly what we're here to do. Now, here's the situation that most of our customers face, and we see this on a massive scale across the NetSuite ecosystem. While NetSuite has an amazing platform that does support both back office and front office capabilities in a comprehensive enterprise business suite, NetSuite is never used alone to run the entire company's operations. And even more now today than ever before, NetSuite is being connected out to dozens in the case of small business, in the case of medium-sized business, hundreds, and in the case of enterprise companies, thousands of other applications, other microservices, other APIs that enhance its capabilities. And here you can see just a simple example of Cisco, of course, a very large company, but using over 150,000 unique applications and services. And you can see their number increasing by 30x in 2 years alone. And that's what we're really seeing across the industry, is a defragmentation away from the pure suite, as people realize that you really have to execute your processes in a connected way. Now, ultimately, the goal is to be able to take all of that data and all of those systems, all of those microsystems and APIs, and be able to connect them into the core of your IT portfolio, which is the NetSuite platform, and be able to really leverage, govern those processes that are executed from NetSuite, but be able to extract the maximum amount of value out of them. We see a lot of integration out to things like e-commerce platforms, whether that's Shopify or whether that's something like Magento. We see a lot of NetSuite customers that have to connect to marketing applications that are both B2B and B2C. We see NetSuite customers constantly integrating to CRM applications, whether that's Salesforce or Microsoft CRM, logistical and supply chain applications. The list goes on and on. And ultimately, that's the goal. How do you deliver that connected value chain that leaves NetSuite at the center? Now, in the old world, we would try to code a lot of this. We would try to code the applications themselves. We would try to code the connections, and we still see a lot of people trying to do custom code around the NetSuite API. But most companies now have started to realize that really the ability to compose processes, to compose applications out of pre-built services, pre-built applications, well over half of those now living out in the cloud, is ultimately a much faster, more agile, and probably more importantly, a less risky proposition, as opposed to really trying to code everything yourself. Now, most of the companies are still dealing with legacy systems and legacy data. There are some companies that we see within the NetSuite ecosystem that have been fortunate enough to lock in with NetSuite from the very beginning. And since the inception of their company, they were able to be cloud, and 90 to 100% of their environments are cloud-based. Now, they're still connecting out to these cloud services that we talked about, but we still see the majority of those companies still have legacy data, legacy systems. These could be databases that hold different versions of your price book. These could be inventory systems. These can be other companies that you work with where you're actually FTPing data back and forth. These can be companies that are executing EDI contracts with stores and retailers. The bottom line is that there's still a large amount of the IT portfolio that lives back behind the firewall. And the ultimate goal is that you need to be able to connect to those systems. You need to be able to access the data in those systems, aggregate that data, transform it, translate it, and make it available as a microservice or an API, and then be able to connect it very easily to your NetSuite cloud platform or anything else that lives out in the cloud. And that's exactly what we do with the Jitterbit iPaaS platform. Now, I have to compliment NetSuite. They've done an amazing job over the last few years of not just thinking about how to roll out the most innovative technology, but really to focus in on how to get that technology and that platform up and running as quickly as possible with as much pre-built content as possible in order to extract value as rapidly as possible. And this is really the exact same philosophy as we have at Jitterbit. We do not believe in integration projects that take 6 months or 9 months or 12 months and cost $500,000. We believe that's integration of old. We follow the NetSuite principles of really looking at companies and being able to deliver pre-built solutions that are appropriate to companies of all sizes. We have companies that range all the way from mom and pop small business to some of the largest companies in the world. We really focus in on the software that you have today, whether that's all cloud-based software or whether or not that's on-premise software. The vast majority of our customers have a hybrid environment, and that's what we really focus in on. We think about role and process and department, and the NetSuite application suite, of course, satisfies the needs of so many different back office departments. Often provides data and information and automation for front office departments like sales, service, and marketing. We do the exact same thing. We automate connected processes across every department in the company, from operations to HR, from finance to sales. And ultimately, it all comes about implementation. And again, we talk about 75% of our customers being able to be up and live with NetSuite integrations in less than 30 days. We call that Jitterbit Love. We are an integration company that believes that ultimately integration needs to be delivered with an entirely different experience than how it has been historically over the last 20 years. If we look at the experience that companies have had as they tried to go through integration, they tried to work with traditional middleware, they tried to develop or use point-to-point connectors that were available from the vendor or third parties, it's been a horrible experience. So not only do we try to deliver the best technical platform for connecting your systems and data, but we really try to focus in on the experience that you have both in your buyer's journey as you select the platform, but even more important, in your customer's journey once you have that platform and how quickly you extract value from it. Now, Suite Success has been an amazing program, of course, that is the encapsulation of that focus in on time to value from NetSuite. And again, we do very similar concepts of providing an amazing amount of pre-packaged recipes and content that are specific to the systems you may want to connect to. We have a lot of pre-built recipes dedicated directly at one of the most common integrations we see from NetSuite, which is NetSuite to Salesforce. We believe we're by far the best and the most experienced in delivering that integration. We're completely focused in on pre-built workflows and dashboards that are part of those recipes across all of the most common industry processes. When it talks about consuming, We're really focused in on that ability of multiple users to be able to consume this data and extract value out of it, and really using integration to raise the level of NetSuite user adoption on your platform. And of course, ultimately, the goal of integrating that NetSuite platform is optimizing the value that you get from NetSuite. So often in integration, the integration actually happens in the back. Nobody actually realizes, but you're just able to deliver 2, 3, sometimes 5 times more data through the NetSuite user interface, because there's so much more data that's being held within the company that is of value of those users, can be brought into the NetSuite platform and then exposed at the appropriate time within the appropriate process. Ultimately, the Jitterbit API integration platform that you would use with NetSuite is really designed into 4 key user experiences. We're really trying to deliver the right level of integration to the right person at the right time. The first group of people that we focus in on is what we call the citizen integrators. This is actually a term that Gartner coined about 3 years ago. These are people with very little technical expertise, and they really are able to leverage the Jitterbit platform and get self-service integration. These are the pre-built recipes and templates that I mentioned earlier. For those who are more developer focused and want to build some very complex and enterprise grade integration, we believe that we're delivering the most innovative, most enterprise integration capabilities to the NetSuite platform. And we do that through the Jitterbit Design Studio. We are by far the API leader in the NetSuite space. So whether you want to build your own APIs, whether you want to take the NetSuite data or enterprise data, combine it and expose it as either an internal API where that data and process can be shared in a secure and governed way by other systems and devices within your company, or even if you want to become part of the API economy and you're doing things like B2B exchanges using those APIs, with a single click, you can make any integration from Jitterbit available via an API and connect out in that B2B or internal way using the API gateway. And finally, where we've really started to move into is leveraging AI. And AI, of course, is all the buzz. Every platform is out talking about their ability to be able to natively infuse AI engines into their platforms. And I'm sure with NetSuite, we're going to hear more about leveraging artificial intelligence and analytics within the NetSuite platform. What we would tell you is that we're big believers in AI and analytics. We always have been. We've always been there as a data integration strategy for those analytic platforms. But in the future, you won't use a single AI engine. There are so many AI engines that are being built out today that everyone will specialize. Different verticals will use different versions of AI engines that are available from different companies. IBM Watson, for example, is exceptionally good. They've got a big head start in the industry in delivering weather and logistics AI. And you might tie into that if you're a retail company and you're really focused in on the supply chain. There are other AI vendors, such as maybe an Amazon, where you might focus in on them on something like sentiment analysis. The key is, how can you connect to those AI engines, bring the insights that they give you, and bring that directly into a NetSuite process and change that process accordingly? And how can you then take the insights out of NetSuite and then push those out to external processes? And that's exactly what we're doing with the Jitterbit AI Infusion platform. The result ultimately is, as I said, well over 200 integrations across all of NetSuite, across companies of all sizes, companies of all verticals. We've done some amazing work in manufacturing, in retail, in high tech, in services. This is just a small example. Pet360 will be at the event. They will be speaking both on behalf of the NetSuite platform, talking about the NetSuite capabilities that they've been able to leverage in their company, really focused in on the restaurant and retail aspect, but also that power of connectivity and how that really amplifies the value. So lots and lots of NetSuite customers that we're looking forward to talking to, but we're looking forward to putting you in contact with as well. Another great example, IntelliFlow. These guys really taking the NetSuite integration beyond process, really beginning to focus in on APIs. IntelliFlow is really a financial services company that powers well over 8 million users on their platform, and their users are primarily financial analysts. They need to be able to connect to a wide array of applications. A big chunk of those applications that they connect to is NetSuite Financials. You can see that they're connecting NetSuite to over 35 different systems, and they've been able to really reduce about 80% of all of their manual processes that were filled with risk, took a tremendous amount of time and cost, and be able to automate that with the smart automation that's delivered through the Jitterbit platform. The end result, we have thousands and thousands of customer stories of different companies that are connecting hundreds, even thousands of different applications, endpoints, and APIs above and beyond just NetSuite that are willing to talk to you about the different processes and the value that they get from the platform. With that, let me get right into the technical demo. Paul, I understand today you threw in a little extra seasoning and you're actually showing some of the capability of AI with NetSuite. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Thanks, Andrew. Yeah, this is a really fun demo and we're really excited about it. What I have here is a customer feedback form. You can imagine, for an e-commerce site where somebody's completed an order and they have a little bit of feedback for your company. Now, we want our customer service specialists to be prepared. And what we're utilizing here is a Watson sentiment analysis. So I'm going to type in an inquiry here. It's going to hit Watson sentiment analysis. And then Watson's going to come back and tell us, is the customer sad, joyful, disgusted, right? Have all these sorts of emotions or affects or sentiments attached to this inquiry. So I'm going to put one in here, maybe a common question that an e-commerce site might receive. And let's say something like, I was unable to find your return policy. And no pressure having 30 people watching you type, but okay, please help. Now let's see what Watson thinks about this person's sentiment as I submit my feedback. Okay, so this is going to come into NetSuite now. Let me reload my page in NetSuite for my customer. I can go into the support tickets, and this customer is sad. All right. So now, what is this besides like a party gimmick, right? This is important because it prepares your customer service reps to expect what they're going to hear from this customer, right? You can see on the previous screen there was one where the customer was joyful. All right. Now your customer service reps can be prepared, and when they do contact the client, they can be ready to work with them. And then you could probably put some metrics around this, right? For example, you could say, well, Paul handled all the angry customers. You get a gold star for today, or maybe they get a bonus. Now, again, we can try different sentiments here. I'll go back one page. I'll try a new one. I don't know. Let's say something like, my new generator is burning oil. Please provide the support number. All right, let's submit this one now. Let's see what this says. Now, I found some really interesting things with Watson in my experiments with it. Like, it doesn't really handle sarcasm well, but I don't think computers really do handle sarcasm well. But we can take a look here and see what Watson would say about this one. All right, let me just go back into the support button here, maybe reload the page. And we'll go back to support. And this is strange. This one is saying that it's joy. So, you know what? It might not be perfect all the time, but we're going to have to take a look at these ahead of time. My new generator, please provide the support number. Not exactly right, Watson, but we can at least say that we are working with AI right now when most people are just talking about it. So this might be a good thing to have to prepare your customer service reps for a case that may or may not be something that when they want to be a little bit careful. So that's my quick demo for you. Again, this is pretty easy to build in the Jitterbit Studio, where I have my web form doing a little prep with a script. I'm hitting Watson's endpoint here, and then I load it into NetSuite. I also have a search for the customer, and then when that case is created, I get an email for customer service. Pretty standard, pretty simple, really just one integration flow with a little bit of flavor or English put here on Watson sentiment. So I thought that you might find this interesting. And, I think that's probably one of my quickest demos I've done, but we'll be at Suite World. Really looking forward to having here, and come by the booth and we can do more experiments with Watson sentiment analysis. You might want to take a look at it and try your hand at the AI engine too. So I'm ready to flip it back over to you, Andrew.
Thank you, Paul. I think, hey, great job. I just want to confirm. So it will be April 23rd and April through April 26th. We will all be meeting at the Sands Convention Center in Las Vegas. Paul, you are going to be there in booth 307. Is that not correct?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll be there.
All right. I will be there too. So for all of you who are on the call who are going to attend the event, we will have the opportunity to meet you. We have private meeting rooms if you really want to dive down into the architecture. As I said, we have several customers that will be speaking. I think Hot Schedules is probably one of the best. We'll be doing a VIP breakfast on Tuesday, April 24th. If you're interested in coming to the VIP breakfast, please leave a note in the questions section. And of course, we're all about the live demos, proving it out. Bring us your toughest NetSuite integration questions and challenges, and we will be happy to rise to the occasion. With that, let me open up into the Q&A session. And a reminder for everybody on the call today, if you want to ask a question, go ahead and go into the questions section of the GoTo control panel, ask your question, and I will call them out. We've got one of the first ones, and this is one of my favorites, is what is your advantage compared to the rest of the iPaaS vendors? And again, iPaaS is a term from Gartner that says integration platform as a service, essentially cloud integration. What I would tell you is there's a few things that you want to do in evaluating iPaaS. First, understand that iPaaS, as of a year ago, has overtaken traditional on-premise middleware. Traditional on-premise middleware was available from the likes of, if you remember, the old Tibcos or the Informaticas, MuleSoft ESB and open source platform. These were the big service-oriented architecture enterprise service buses. They still exist today, but the growth rate of those types of technologies have dramatically slowed down as the cloud equivalents, iPaaS, have really sped up. We believe that the Jitterbit has been, by the way, a leader in the Gartner iPaaS quadrant now 3 years in a row. We believe we're delivering the most innovative iPaaS platform for NetSuite customers. What I would tell you our big difference is every vendor should be able to connect data from NetSuite through the NetSuite API to another application. And of course, we can do that. There's a lot of very sophisticated orchestration and data management capabilities that we bring to bear. What I would really emphasize in the differentiator of any middleware solution, but especially in the iPaaS space, is what is the experience that they deliver to you? Do they just throw you a platform? How do they support you? Do you get telephone support? Do you get live support? Do you have to pay for that support? Do you get unlimited training through the university? Do they have any kind of ability to scope your project out for you even before you bought it? We call that Love Jitterbit. We believe we have a completely different approach to delivering integration value for our customers, and we're completely focused in on that time to value and really delivering that measure of success, where we think a lot of the other iPaaS companies are really looking at just delivering you a technical integration solution available on the cloud, selling you the software, and moving on to their next transaction. Now, let's see what else we have for another question. Here's a great one. do you have a partnership and do you integrate with other Oracle applications? Yes, as a matter of fact, we're the Great Switzerland. We have strategic partnerships with every major cloud and on-premise business application platform available today. And these are the biggies. These are the tier ones. So whether it is NetSuite, Workday, Salesforce, SAP, Oracle, we have strategic partnerships and, more importantly, technical certifications with their solutions. In many cases, these companies may even have their own middleware solutions and still partner with us because we're complementary to their solutions and deliver a level of connectivity and a speed of value that they're simply not able to provide. Within the Oracle ecosystem, of course, we work with the EBS. We most common see the Oracle database, which of course still makes up over half of all their revenues. But we also connect to the vast majority of the over 200 enterprise applications companies that they have acquired and brought into the Oracle portfolio over the last 10 to 15 years, whether that's JD Edwards, whether that's PeopleSoft, going all the way down to Taleo and many others. So yes, we are both Oracle strategic partners and NetSuite SDN certified. Here's one that I really like. I have heard that Jitterbit is like bringing a bazooka to a knife fight. Is this too much functionality and price for a small mid-sized company? Eloquently said. I really like that. You know, it's interesting in the NetSuite space, sometimes the perception of Jitterbit is that we have the enterprise capabilities that very few others have, that real-time API capability, the orchestration capability. We might show something like you just saw, the IBM Watson AI infusion capability. What's important to realize is that we deliver those enterprise capabilities at an SMB price and at an implementation speed that matches and aligns to the NetSuite customer base. We believe that we can match, if not beat, the vast majority of the prices of any of the middleware solutions in the NetSuite ecosystems. We also believe that you need to be very careful within the NetSuite ecosystem that there are some companies that are really selling point-to-point integrations that cannot be customized, that are not open, that essentially lead to dead-end options 1, 2, 3 years down the line. So we hope to offer you a SMB solution today that runs on a single multi-tenant cloud platform and can scale up for your needs over time. And you should find that both our pricing and our implementation time should be aligned with that. And again, I'll go back to the metric of 75% of all NetSuite customers are up, live, and running with their integrations within 30 days. Somebody actually asking again about the breakfast. Just a reminder, yes, we will be doing the breakfast again this year. That breakfast will be on Tuesday morning, April 24th. So you guys, if you're interested, please let us know what you're interested in. Here's a good one. Is your platform a holistic offering? I.e., there's no separate offering licensing for API management, NetSuite Studio, or pricing by any endpoints. You know, that's an interesting question because it's absolutely a holistic offering. And what you want to do is be very wary of any integration company that is not offering all of their technologies, whether it's integration, API management, connectivity to NetSuite, connectivity to any other solution, and they're not doing it on a single multi-tenant platform. There are some companies within the NetSuite ecosystem that are actually have re-platformed, so they offer multiple tools on multiple platforms for multiple use cases. And when you deal with an unintegrated integration solution, you basically have a broken foundation from the very beginning. So it's important to notice with Jitterbit, everything runs on the single multi-tenant cloud platform that we call Harmony. And from that platform, you can essentially connect to any application, any API, using a single design experience and a single management experience. I think that's most of what we have. I think there's a couple others. Here's a good one. Are you BFN certified? And this is, of course, NetSuite certified. Absolutely. We have been BFM certified for now over 5 years. It's very good to be working with that team. There's lots of technical coaching that we've gotten for that team in the security protocols of working with the NetSuite API, how you do things like hold user credentials, the changing ways of authenticating to the API. So we've been working very closely with that team. And actually, we just went through our new 2018 certification process. Very proud to be working with those guys and be able to pass that one with flying colors. So yes, full BFN certified. Interesting. So we just signed with NetSuite. When do we need to get in contact with Jitterbit to go live by mid-July? Hey, this is a great situation. So the first thing that you want to be doing is you've already got NetSuite. Hopefully you've already identified what the processes are that you need to connect and integrate. Get in touch with us as quickly as possible. As I said, we're very, very focused in on your experience, both before you actually make an integration solution, also as you design and architect that integrated solution, then of course in delivery. The sooner you work with us, the sooner that we can get an integration specialist working with you that can identify some of the nuances of working with the different APIs, working with the data. The bottom line is we can get up and running the vast majority of those integrations in just a matter of a few days to a few weeks. If you were trying to get live by July, I would be targeting July 1st as you go live, which will give you 2 weeks of buffer. If we're in April, you'd want to be contacting us in April. You know, I'll make this up. It'd say 6 weeks for selection. That would take you right into May, and that would give you all of June to implement. But I tell you, it's still a tight time frame. If you can squeeze down selection, you're in better shape. We'll do the best that we can. But bottom line, meet with us April 23rd, April 26th. Meet with Paul, get the live demo, meet with one of our architects, and let's see if we can satisfy your challenges, but I can guarantee we can get you up and live by mid-July. All right. Well, I think that that concludes the questions for today. I want to thank everyone who is on the call. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time. Anybody that we did not get in touch in terms of the QA, we will answer those questions offline because I do see a number of those coming, but it's 10:40 and I think that was our goal in terms of an end time. I want to thank Paul for a great technical demo. Again, April 23rd through the 26th at the SANS Convention Center. Please stop by and we would love to meet you and hear about your challenges and opportunities with the NetSuite platform. Thank you very much.